this gentleman doesn't need any introduction to you, but I tell you what a great couple days, and to welcome back one of the all-time greats. And we started last night, and we went from about 7 o'clock to about 11:30 at night, and he came in and spoke with the staff, and we talked football, and I tell you what, it's been a great experience. And then today we had a team meeting, and Peyton addressed our football team, and not only on his views and beliefs in the game and how you live your life and how you excel at the highest level, but also what it meant to be a Vol. And then we opened it up for questions, and I wanted to kind of gauge our players and the type of questions that they asked Peyton, and very pleased with the questions. So then obviously for him to come back and speak at our coaches clinic, it's one of the highest attended coaches clinics that we've had in a number of years, and I think that's a tribute to him and what he stands for. So just a great way of saying thank you to him, just because he means so much to us in our football program, recruiting, and everything that we're doing here as we lay it brick by brick. So I just want to publicly thank Peyton. We love him and very proud of him, so I'll let him address you guys. So thank you. And
thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Thanks a bunch, man. It's great. Thanks. So, no, it's been great to be here. Like Coach Jones said, I got in here last night. We talked ball all night last night, and great visit with the high school coaches today. Well, I really have a great passion and respect for high school coaches, real tight with my high school coach, and they had some great questions as well. So it's really been a fun couple of days talking football with some different coaches.
Peyton, Coach Jones is all about preaching accountability, and he's trying to get playmakers out of this program, and that's some of the stuff that you stand for. Is that some of the stuff that you try to convey to these young guys?
Well, certainly. I think this the players this year just have a great opportunity to kind of create their own legacy, to be part of a turnaround here in Tennessee. And we all know the past few years haven't been the most fun for Tennessee football family, and Coach Jones is determined to turn that around. I believe he will turn that around. Had a really enjoyed talking football and philosophy with him last night. Really impressed with his staff and their philosophy, and but what an impressive group of young men that I got the chance to address. And like Coach Jones said, they had some great questions about what they can do to be better, and how they can create their own legacy and be part of a turnaround here in Knoxville. And so I really enjoyed the time.
I'm sure you've noticed Coach Jones has a lot of energy. He's that kind of a guy. Talk about him and your relationship with him so far as he takes over this Tennessee program.
Well, his first time we've gotten a chance to see face to face. We'd spoken on the phone, prior to that, and I got over here last night about 7:30, sat in his office for probably an hour, and just kind of getting a feel for his philosophies on coaching on offense, defense, and special teams, and how to run a program. And I was impressed. I think he's got a plan. He's got a mission. There's no question. He's got a short-term and a long-term plan. But it made a lot of sense to me. And then getting with his staff, I can tell. He selected these coaches very carefully and for a specific reason. They all bring something to the table. So I think it's an exciting time for Tennessee football. I really do. It's people need to stay committed to it and stay patient with it, and it doesn't happen overnight. But I sure liked what I heard these past 2 days.
Peyton, if you will, talk about your gift to the Pat Summitt Foundation and what that means to you.
Well, Pat Summitt has been a great friend and mentor, kind of a confidant for me. She was one of the first people that I addressed as when I was a junior here about whether to stay for my senior year or to turn pro. I just thought she was a dad I remember recommended, said you ought to go talk to Pat Summitt, just a great sounding board. And we've maintained a close relationship since. I've been to a few of the Final Four she's been in since I've been in pro ball, and see Tamika Catchings in Indianapolis, and I know what a huge impact she's made on all of her players. And I never played for her, but just had such great respect for her as a coach. And certainly Pat's fighting the tough fight and got a whole new challenge, and I'm just proud of her for stepping out in front of this challenge and this disease. And I was just wanted to make a contribution to help her, because I believe in her, and I do believe that with Pat Summitt out in front leading any type of game plan, a basketball game, fight against a terrible disease, I know she will win, and so I wanted to help her and support her in that.
Hey, what is it about going back to David? You worked so long with him. What is it about that seems to have energized you?
Well, last year it was such a unique situation that I'd reached a point in my rehab that a trainer or a doctor I couldn't really help me anymore. Ice wasn't going to help me anymore. I really needed to work with the quarterbacks coach again to get my arm, my feet, to learn kind of the fundamentals of quarterback again. I'm not playing for a year, and my injury really caused some issues with my arm and kind of my ability to throw the ball. And so, who better to go to than somebody who's seen me throw? Probably more than maybe second to my dad as far as how many times he's seen me throw. And Coach Cutcliffe invited me down there, and we sort of started from the ground up on the fundamentals and really kind of got my confidence back as a passer. And it just made a huge difference for me. And so this year, with the new NFL rules, they have certain restrictions. You're not allowed to throw at the facility until April 15th. It's almost college-like rules, and so it made such a difference last year. I thought my fundamentals and mechanics were really solid last year, and of course, Eli's been there a couple of times as well, but Eli and I got together and said, why don't you get 3 guys, I'll get 3 guys, let's go see Cutcliffe and let him coach us again. And kind of like a golfer going to see an old swing coach. And so Coach Cutcliffe, he was at Ole Miss after I left, and I'd see him down there. So he and I have always, stayed close, and I've sent him videos and asked him ideas. So he's kind of been my, longest, passing coach, if you will. And I think as an older player, it's just a great reminder of, doing the fundamentals and techniques. And in the video I was showing today to the coaches, I was showing him some video from 1994. Some of the same drills I did in '94 with Cutcliffe, I'm still doing today in Denver, and the shorts I were wearing were almost illegal in 1994, and Cutcliffe's were worse. But my point is, tell the high school coaches and Coach Jones' staff that if you got a good drill, a fundamental, and a mechanic, do it all the time. Doesn't matter where you're playing. So it's really been good work, and I appreciate Coach Cutcliffe taking the time.
You feel your strength is back now after the surgery?
It's I still have certain challenges. When you're dealing with nerves, I've learned it's a patience deal, and they kind of say it could be a year, 2 years, may never come back. And so I'm kind of hopeful that I kind of wish certain things would come back a little bit more, but I have learned to adjust and compensate in the state that I am. I still would like to make some more improvement. I still work at it, but obviously I think I can perform, kind of status quo, but I still have hopes and determined to try to seek some more improvement. But yeah, I'm certainly better. It was, than I was last year, but I'm still, not quite where I was before I was injured.
So many years with the Colts, do you feel like you're finally getting settled in now as a Denver Bronco?
Well, I think it takes time. I mean, 14 years in one place, you just can't, duplicate that. So it was fun to get back on the field playing last year. It was nice to have. We start the off-season program Monday the 15th, and I'll be certainly more comfortable this year than I was last year. Have a better feel for the culture and the offense, and my new teammates. But experience is your best teacher, and I don't have 14 years to establish that, certainly in Denver. But I definitely feel more comfortable this second year, I believe.
Peyton, you referenced Coach Jones' plan, both short-term and long-term. What specifically about it makes you believe he's going to turn it around?
Well, I think he's got it all mapped out, and I like just his slogans, his philosophies, the things that he believes in. I think he's really preaching accountability to his players. It seems like the players have really bought in. I know he's been here a short period of time, and this is just spring practice. We got training camp and haven't even played a game yet, but I really like what he's saying. I like how he sounded on the phone. I tell he's excited. I think the most inspiring thing is how excited he is to be here. This is the job that he wanted, and this is where he wants to stay and wants to retire. And that's those are the kind of people that we want here at Tennessee. People that are all in Tennessee Vol, and I can tell he is that, and that was really encouraging.
You guys that are in the league, how much do you former Vols, how much do you talk about seeing Tennessee get back?
Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, we got 4 on Denver, and then this year in the Pro Bowl we had 6 guys from Tennessee. Barry and Colquitt and Mayo, and a number of guys. So yeah, we certainly talk about it. I mean, everybody pulls hard for him every Saturday, and it's no fun when Champ Bailey has the upper hand on me if Georgia beats Tennessee. For so many years, we always have the upper hand. So there's no question it's been a challenge for the whole family, and I commend these players for fighting through it. And I told these freshmen, you owe it to these seniors to make them have the best senior year possible. So yeah, all the Tennessee Vols out there, not just the ones in the NFL. Everybody wants Tennessee to get back to kind of what they're used to seeing, and that's why I said this team and this kind of era has a chance to kind of create their own legacy here.
You sort of taken on a role as a face of the university, being in the academic commercial, introducing Pat the ESPYs. What does it mean to you to fill that role after what Tennessee mentioned?
Well, Tennessee just has such a huge impact in my life, and I had wonderful 4 years here at the University of Tennessee, and a big reason why I stayed my senior year, because I really wanted to have one more year of the college experience, and I enjoyed coming back and seeing some of the same friends and faces that are here, whether it's Roger Frazier and Joe Harrington, and obviously there's been a lot of changes from the time that since I've gone, but it's still University of Tennessee, it's still volunteer pride, and I'm a huge fan of those.
With the departure of Elvis, what does this mean for Robert Ayers and perhaps filling that role?
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time for Robert, and I know the coaches are excited, for what he can do. I know they're going to challenge him and to step up and answer the bell on that. I believe Robert can do it, and so it's definitely an exciting year for him this year.
Thanks, guys, very much.
Introductory press conference, but you talked about how you would chat with him about the Colorado opening way back when. What do you remember about that chat? What were your
I'm glad you asked me that. I can clear that up. My boss, John Elway, had a good friend who was leading the Colorado search, and so he asked me if I would text talk to this coach about coming to Colorado, and at the time, Butch Jones was not even been contacted by Tennessee, and I didn't know really much about him either. So when your boss asks you to make a phone call, you have to make a phone call. So I said, I don't know anything about Colorado. He said, well, will you tell him that this is a good place to play football, and it's a nice place to live? And I said, I can do that. I don't know anything else about the University of Colorado. Don't have, and so that's what I did. And so I wasn't, and then. I think it caused some confusion that I was recruiting a guy to come to Colorado. I recruit for one school only, the University of Tennessee, and so I was doing a favor for Elway and my boss, and then once obviously Butch was in consideration for University of Tennessee, I really feel we got lucky. I know we had some other people that it didn't quite work out that we were interviewing first. I really feel we were fortunate to land Butch Jones. I really do. I think it's going to be a huge difference for this program. I think we're fortunate to have him. So, but yeah, I'm glad you asked me that, because I'm Tennessee Vols all the way, I can assure you.
Thanks, guys, very much.
Thank you.